Welcome to the Leader More podcast. Our motive is to pass on what we've found helpful over the years through leading teams, running operations, and dealing with life's challenges. We hope you enjoy. Welcome, Sherie.
Thank you, Dad.
Thanks so much for giving up some time.
Pleasure.
Now, we've got to know each other over the last, I'd say, a bit over 12 months, involvement in the Supply Chain and Logistics Association, part of the committee there. But you're involved in, I counted up, about 4 or 5 different extra associations. So, and not just involved from participating, but organising and everything. So, Women in Logistics, the International Trade Ball.
I think my favourite.
You've just had an event too, I saw.
We have.
How did it go?
Actually, the best one yet, I think.
Good.
So we just had just over 300 people, and it was an awesome night. Awesome night. So yeah, and we're already planning the next one.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
yearly event?
Yearly, yes. This was the 6th year. So I think the first one we did was 100 people. We just wanted to get 100 people. We thought, that's an achievement. And next thing you knew, everything just got out there into the media, or not media, but just, LinkedIn, and people kept talking. And now we're up to 300 people. So we could grow it, but we don't want to.
I imagine there's a bit going on with 300 people.
Just a bit, but you can't connect. When it's too big, you can't connect.
Yeah.
So we'll just limit it.
Good point. So, and then also too, 2 or 3 different customs brokering associations in there as well. Yeah. So like I said, not just participating and showing up to events, but actually organising.
Yeah, I think probably the custom brokerage side of things is something that we sponsor. Look, our core customer base where I am is international freight forwarders, and part of that is brokers and whatnot. And that's such a key to the whole of Australia. And I don't think people understand the vitality of the whole freight forwarding and custom broker industry is that without them, this country wouldn't run, and the government wouldn't be able to protect the country like they do because they rely on these people. So number one, not letting other insects into the country, not letting illegal goods into the country. They are also the governing force of helping customs, helping the whole of Australia government really. So such a unique and I think vital industry for the country to really keep running. So
quite achievers, that's for sure.
They are quite achievers, passionate, very quiet achievers, 24/7. They don't stop. Yeah. So, it's something awesome to be involved in.
Yeah. So what is that with all that involvement? Like I said, not just turning up, but you're actually doing a lot of organising and put a chunk of time into things.
I think it's I've always enjoyed bringing people together. That's just been something, and maybe it's from my youth or something where I grew up in the country. That's what you did. You had a community around you. And even when I was young, I used to run, I don't know why or how, it just bring young people in together and build their confidence, and runs a few workshops and things like that as well. So it's something that I think just always been in my blood, is just to bring people together. And sometimes it's great to organise it and sit back and watch everyone have fun, because I like that, and know, oh, wow, we did it. Everyone's just having a cracking time, connecting with each other, talking, problem solving. And, you can't run anything without having people around you.
So you can't say no. Essentially.
I'm starting to learn, Dan. Starting to learn, because there's only so many hours in a day, isn't there? So,
so country South Australia, you grew up, yeah? So a farm, what do you...
Farm, yes. It was a little place called Cummins, and it was near Port Lincoln. My party town was Coffin Bay, where you get your oysters from, Coffin Bay oysters. Okay. Always out helping Dad. So poor Mum was slaving away inside, and I would be out the door as fast as I could, driving a tractor, even ploughing the fields, helping Dad, riding horses, rounding up sheep, driving trucks on the road when I was 14. So I think it's sort of, a little bit in my blood, just the logistics thing.
Was that a thing that you sort of thought, I'm going to stay, and that logistics fits with what I'm doing, or you just naturally found...
Look, honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And like I said before, remember at high school, 16, walking up the stairs in my little high school, going, I want to work for an international company and I want to travel the world. And like, how do you do that? I wouldn't have a clue. But I just fell into things. And it finally eventuated. I think I was temping for this international company, and I was supposed to be on reception for 2 days. And I got to know the distribution manager, who was a German gentleman, hard ass, absolute hard ass, and loved him to bits. And I think I've always liked a challenge, we'll put it that way. So he created a job, and that's how it started.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was a good journey.
And you did a bit of traveling in that role?
Yeah, we did.
Business?
And great traveling too. So it was travel, Belgium, setting up our distribution, outsourcing that to a freight forwarder. So I suppose that was my first involvement with a freight forwarder. Setting up a warehouse in China, running a customer service team, looking after our distributors throughout Asia Pacific. So a lot of travel, SAP, super user, America. I think it's a journey along the way that was always fun, always meeting new people, and loved hearing people's stories. Loved it. So
A bit of back to the country community, you reckon?
yeah, absolutely. I think so, because everyone was just looking out for each other, and you always knew everything about each other. And to do that, you ask questions. So it was just a natural thing to ask questions.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that's how I've done well, is just keep learning and asking. And if you don't understand, just keep asking why. I sound like a little kid, like my daughter. I was saying to her the other day, oh my God, can you stop saying why? But that's how you learn and how you understand things. So yeah, that's good.
Balancing that travel and family, like how did you find that? Was that difficult?
It was okay. I hadn't had children when I was doing all that. So that was before children came along. Once children came along though, I was probably outgrown that business in a sense, because it was a mature market. The customer base was the same. I knew ordering patterns. I knew shipping patterns. I knew everything else. And unfortunately, it was always owned by Americans or Saudis. And one of the conditions is you had to have a degree before you could take that next step.
Okay.
But even if I took that next step, I think I still would have been bored, because there was nothing new to learn.
No challenge.
No challenge. No, it was just, and I can't rock up to work every day without a challenge. I get a little bit bored.
Yeah.
So, but then I think, it's the evolution was some of the distributors say you should go into sales, you should do this.
Yeah.
And I was
Why
like,
were they saying that, do you think?
I think just because I enjoyed being with people, and I enjoyed solving problems. But also I liked meeting new people, and I liked hearing stories, and maybe that's what sales is about, is learning about people, learning about problems, and seeing if you can find a solution.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But once again, how do you do that? Didn't know. So off to the recruitment company we went.
Well, it's funny, isn't it? Like sales has like this stigma about it, doesn't it? And it comes across that it's very much about this person, the salesperson, and it's not about those relationships and servicing and things like that, which is weird, because that's what it is about, right?
It is very much. And I think, I don't think a young person should necessarily walk straight into sales.
Okay.
I think you should have a little bit of life experience and a little bit of, I always say, have some operational or something in the background experience. I've done credit control through my career. I've done operations, probably more operations than sales. So having that back knowledge can help you then be at the forefront, because I know what it was like being operations, and I would used to say, why did sales sell this? Why did they do that? Because now I have to make it work, and at the same cost that they sold it to the customer. And how do I do that? So that was a great learning when I did move into sales, was to make sure that I knew my operational staff.
The depth to your knowledge, yes.
Absolutely. And really get involved with them and find out what their challenges were with the customer base that they had, and what they didn't like the sales team doing. So I always find out what you don't like about the sales team, so that we can then not replicate that moving forward.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So your role now with Direct Couriers, state sales manager, like you got a team underneath you, and you've moved through, and I imagine must have been a little bit of a high performer, and got to a point where you, managing a team now.
I started at what was Toll, so Toll Priority, the air freight division. That was my first sales gig.
Yeah.
And I was given a phone, a desk, and said, go sell. So you go, how do you do that? And so, all right. So get to know your product a bit and start picking up the phone and calling people. Yeah. And that was my sales training right at the start. So it wasn't until really I just learned along the way, and I just winged it. Yeah. So it's just, get to know people, find out what they do, if they have any problems, where they send it. It's basic when you break it back down and not look at it as a big picture, I think. So
when you were younger and starting out, like was that something that you knew straight away you found, or you sort of, as you went, you sort of just found your way?
I think it's as you went, you found your way. Okay. I think, the first 30 phone calls I made would have been absolute clunkers. It was very much just learn along the way. And I did a lot of just listening to, different things on the internet, what people were saying to do or how they did it. And, the old sell me the pen scenario and things like that. Yeah. And I think the other part is that I've always enjoyed psychology. And so if you know psychology, you can kind of read people even through the phone. You can pick up different tones and how they're talking to you. And then you know whether to keep going or not. And then know, do I get in front of you or not? Because I'd rather go and meet someone face to face than just to try and do a sale on the phone. It's not going to work.
So really an emphasis on understanding where they're coming from and how they're feeling and what they need.
And I think that goes back to your youth though. Mum and dad always said, always walk in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
So, and that's been something that I always held on to, is always look at someone else's perspective. So, and don't think yours is always the right perspective. So, and just reflect on it.
I reckon you would have loved that challenge then, going from those first 30 calls to figuring it out.
It was great. Actually, it was great. And I still remember it very clearly. Finding my own sheet, I think I was selling international air freight.
Okay.
So it was like, wow, who would need that? So it's like, okay, well, let's start, And so I found this awesome database on exporters. So I just started with that, and there was 500 in there. So it was just like, ring every one of them, and I'm sure something's going to come out of this.
Something's going to happen.
And then I learnt later, sales is a numbers game, isn't it? So it certainly is.
How do you find that with your team? Like, you've got I suppose a methodology in your head, right? And by the sounds of it, building relationships and understanding people is a big one, and building some trust and knowing what you're talking about and all that sort of stuff, and some long-term sort of relationship stuff that you work on. How do you find, like with your team, is there an element of you got to let them figure that out as you go, or you sort of pretty clear with your expectations of what needs to happen?
I think it's, the culture and the whole philosophy we've got at Direct Couriers is really around get in front of people and build relationships. That's the number one rule. So anyone that comes into the team they know that.
That's the expectation.
That's the expectation. You can't sit in a room and just expect things to come to you. You've got to go out and find it and build those relationships. I think some of the best relationships, and finally turning over into a business relationship took 5 years. But the best one I had was it was on phone, because they were in Melbourne. So it was just purely picking up the phone every now and then, waiting until they were ready. And the wonderful COVID hit, and we're all in lockdown, and they said, right, you've been saying that you wanted to have a go, so now's your chance, and away we go. And from the directors to all the other senior managers, everyone's on the same page. I can ring a director and say, I need your help. Can you find me drivers? And bang, away they go. And it's a great way to just keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Is just connect with people.
Very team-oriented approach where you're at, right? Is that, and that's always been like that, or have you guys had to really work on that, or?
No, I think it's even though I've been there 10 years, it's always been very team-focused. Where I was previously, it was a dog-eat-dog sort of situation where you would have too many divisions and everyone trying to cross-sell other divisions. So, and everyone obviously having a target to meet. So that created that dog eat dog type of whole mentality within the business. So when I was previous in that, all I was doing was putting out fires with other divisions. So you can't do that.
You can't steal.
Please, you can't steal. Whereas walking into this, it's just a really wholesome, and I still feel like a very family-based business, even though we're probably a medium-sized business. It's still that whole, you have respect for each other. So we can sell anywhere in Australia, but we've got a great little CRM where everyone can see everyone who they're working on and notes and things like that. And if someone hasn't touched something for a while, you still have the respect to reach out to that person and go, do you mind if I have a shot at this one?
Yeah, okay.
And we just keep that up. And it hasn't changed. And from the time I bring in the team, I think, the newest team member's been with us since January, but I feel like he's been with us a lot longer, which is great.
In a good way, yes.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. They all learn that from the start, and I just focus on the training, and I think the cultural training as well. Go around to the office and say hello to everyone in the morning. Your stakeholders are not only your customers, but every single person you come in touch with, from customer service to your admin team, to your operations team, to your fleet team, warehouse, whoever. You need to act as if they're your customer. So whenever you go somewhere, you always say hello, don't you? So do it to your own team. And say goodbye as well. Let them all know and have a good night. And we try and just instill that everywhere we go.
And you find like that's probably your point of difference within the market? Like, and not to say that other companies aren't like that, but that probably wins you some work, do you feel?
I think so. I think so. Look, being accountable and straight up, knowing your product, knowing what you can and can't do, but also being true to yourself and don't fake it.
So just genuine.
Just genuine. And some take a lot longer than others. Obviously, we don't want to take over the world, but you just want to have your core base. And we're fortunate. We've got customers that have been with us for 20 plus years. So it says a lot about the way the business runs. And once I look after a customer, I don't let that customer go. I don't palm them off. You do truly build relationships and really good friendships too. Really good friendships.
I could imagine.
And I think that, you talk about sales, and what you like about sales is just meeting new people and realising how many good people there are out there. Like when I go to the shops, I don't believe that, because everyone just wants to cut me away and put your trolley in the way, and I get really frustrated. But then when I go out on the road and I meet people, I'm just like, wow, there's so many gorgeous people out there that have got hearts of gold, they're smart, and that they even teach me things as well. So I love it.
With that sort of environment with your team, right? Like you were sort of saying there's the accountability aspect of it, and people always want to do their best and improve. Is that, have you had to sort of like that balancing that competition within the team to, and just having that good culture? Is that sort of been something that you've got to be mindful of in that situation, or?
Always. Someone's going to be hungrier than someone else, and someone's not going to think about the culture, aren't you? So you've got to rein someone back every now and then and go, hey, hang on, you forgot about this little step here. Be respectful. But look, we're really open. Like, I feel like, yes, I lead the team, but I don't feel I have that title. I'm just a team member.
You're one of the team.
I'm one of the team. I'm just there to be their guide or their support network. And because I've got my own targets as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, right? So you got a team that have got their targets, and you've got your targets, right? So there's that element of you've got to hit your KPIs. You've got to do what you got to do.
Yes.
But then you've also got to support and probably to a certain extent responsible for the team hitting theirs as well.
Yeah.
How's that?
I think it comes down to training.
Okay.
So right from the start is make sure your team is trained well. Understand the product, understand what we do, understand what we won't do, understand the sort of businesses we want to cater to, because we're not for everyone. And if you can get that right at the start, you've got a better chance of them hitting the ground running and not needing you all the time.
Okay.
But I still do love going out with my team and go to a new business meeting with them, or what we call an account managed call with them, to see their customer. Every now and then I'll ring a customer and still say, hi, I know you caught up with, George or someone else. And how was that? How's everything going?
Okay.
And because that's a great way of me not to discipline my team, but just to go, is there something we can do better? Is there something I've missed? Because I feel so accountable. If they don't succeed, it really hurts me because I feel like I haven't done something. So, and I think that's just the giving back, isn't it? You want them not to learn the hard way like I learnt. I want them to learn the easier way, but also let them go and make their mistakes, and hopefully not as many as I did.
Yeah.
That's that's the key.
Autonomy is a big one. And I imagine the
Absolutely.
team enjoy that.
Micromanaging will never let you succeed, I don't think. So you've got to trust your team. I'm fortunate that I've got a great dynamic within the team. They've all got different skill sets, all got great different personalities. And you say that could be challenging, but it's not. It just works well. They connect really well. We all have fun together when there's time to have fun together, but I think also reward success as well. And just saying thank you sometimes, or go and have a bite to eat together and just shoot the breeze instead of talking about work for a while.
Joked at the start, it's hard for you to say no
Yes,
about,
yes.
doing things for people. Like with your role and hitting your targets though, is that, how do you go with that? Do you find that you've got to sort of go, look, Sherie, you got to look after yourself?
Yeah, I do. I think my brain doesn't stop. And I think that's probably the detriment of sales or knowing you've got your own targets as well as a team is my brain's in overdrive all the time.
Okay.
So switching off can be hard. But I think sometimes now I'm learning to be a little bit stronger with the team instead of them running into the door because I've got an open door policy, is saying, guys, can we just block out, say, an hour on this day where you ask me all your questions? Or, I've got some time here. They can see my calendar if they really wanted to. See if I've got a bit of time and then say, hey, do you mind? We'll text sometimes each other. Hey, here you got 5 minutes? And I'm like, yes or no, give me 20. So we all try and be a little bit respectful around that. But it's got a little bit better, but the pressure never stops, does it, in sales? So, yeah.
With you were saying something's always on your mind. Is that just like creatively thinking about strategies to maybe improve relationships or new clients? That's what you're thinking about?
It's a multiple. People think going into sales is a really cool gig. It is a cool gig, but you've got to think you're feeding a whole family. You're feeding the whole team. We're feeding the drivers. We've got to make sure that there's enough work coming in to make sure those drivers make their money, to make sure that we can keep our customer service team. So you think about really the pressure to make sure that you keep customers, you don't drop revenue, you gain revenue. It's always there. So if you don't want to own your own business and have all that pressure, just try going into sales, because I feel like that's nearly the same as running a business. Yeah. I'm terrified that we would lose money and we would have to lose staff. Yeah. That's probably the biggest thing on my mind. And if I know that we're not at to target, then it's thinking, okay, where are we going next? Are we targeting incorrectly? Do we need to switch it up? But we have been doing sales plans, so everyone's got their idea of, right, this is who I'm targeting. Yeah. This is the industries I'm targeting. This is why I'm targeting those industries. And try not to divert from that. I think that's the key, and that's the hardest thing for a salesperson to do, is keep on track, because your mind's always going everywhere, going, oh, I just saw a business. That would be really cool to target them or something. Let me research that. But then you might find out that you've just wasted your whole time. Yeah. So just stick to your script of who you're going to go after, I think.
But that'd be hard too. Like even a sales plan. It's like, okay, we've got this plan. This is where we're going. But there's like these little things that you can go, oh yeah, we're just thinking about that. But if we did this as well at the same time, that would really help this, all those little things.
You just got to roll with it. You can't put roadblocks up. You just got to roll with it, wing it, see how it goes. And if that doesn't work, move on to the next thing. We've got a lot of support within our business as well. And I think the most sales training I've ever done is within direct couriers. And it's been great. Yeah. So even for me, I've learnt things that I was like, there's a good tip. That's a good tip. Okay. Or, yep, I already do that. I'm on the right path. Excellent. But, for me, the person that's taught me the most about sales he's now our CEO. And he was our sales director. So he's one of our main owners of the business. And the way he just builds a relationship, and his knowledge about the world, about finance, about the markets, about industry in general, is amazing. So he, just watching him in action, I learnt so much from.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's still willing to come out with the sales team. Like he doesn't have ego.
He's humble and grounded.
He's humble, grounded, and he'll come out with anyone and help anyone try and get a deal done. He's really invested. So
Yeah.
he's a great guy.
Oh, that's awesome. And I imagine too, like costs, like a transport company, courier company, right? Like fuel prices, contract prices. Do you guys have like direct employee drivers or subcontracted drivers? How do you work?
We have a few company drivers, but mostly the business is set up on wholly subcontracted drivers.
Yeah.
So I think you're very mindful that, these people have to pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
They've got
a
kids.
family to support.
The food cost is going up. So we don't sell to everyone, and I'm probably more proud of my team if they walk away from a deal because it doesn't stack up financially for the business. And
just that you've had to be aggressive with your pricing, or you would need to be aggressive with your
you would
pricing
have
to get
to
the
be
work.
too aggressive, and then in a sense you wouldn't be able to support the family. And I'll call the whole business the family.
Yep.
And that's, you just got to walk away. Some people do that. Some of our competitors will do that. That's okay. Everyone's different and it suits different needs, but you really got to find high-end products that people want to move where they've got margin within their products, so they can afford to spend on transport, so to speak. And I think, if you don't run a profitable business, then it's dangerous, and COVID showed us that. So, I think having our business or what they've done to instill discipline about who we sell to and whatnot meant through COVID, they kept all of us in sales. A lot of people let their sales team go through COVID, but they actually relied on us more to stay in touch with our customers. So instead of walking into a customer and seeing 6 people at once, hi, how you going? Got any problems? How's it going? Can I teach you anything? It was 6 phone calls. And really ended up being counselling phone calls like, are you okay in lockdown? Is everything okay? And I think you worked harder in a different way through that time, but so much respect for the business for keeping us, because it just proved what they always said is relationships are key with the clients.
Well, and it takes time, right? Like you guys are, you mentioned before, 5 years to get a relationship, right? Or to get to a point where it works out. But like that takes time,
yes.
And you've talked about, okay, well, we've got to know what we're on about, and we're servicing, and our that experience for customers is important. You haven't spoken at all about, we're just the cheapest, and we'll, like that. Yeah.
No,
that works for you guys.
It's definitely not. And we try and qualify to get the team to qualify before you go and see someone. Look, what are you after? What do you need? What are your challenges? What are your wishes? And if they just set a cheaper price, I'd be hesitant to even go and walk in the door and see them, because what's the value? We'd rather bring value, and that's the way I've always solution sold. So walking into direct couriers from the toll, that was solution selling as well. So then you circle back to talking about who do you hire within your team. It's people that are used to solution selling and not price selling, because it's very hard to break someone who's just wants to sell on price.
So recruitment-wise, talk to me about that. How do you find your people? Like, what's worked for you?
Yeah, it's probably talking to my customers, because you're always going to have a competitor walk in. So if I know I've got a customer that it was hard for me to break and to actually build a relationship with, if they like a competitor's salesperson, I'll keep that person in my mind, because I'm like, wow, if you like them, they're doing something right, aren't they? And it's a small circle in Perth, so it's very hard to find people, and I've worked with a lot of different people, so there's not a lot I would hire. So it's getting thinner and thinner now. So really that's one of the key, or a recommendation from one of my other team members on someone they know would be the key to how we recruit.
Okay, so you're essentially, your brain is thinking forward planning, forward staffing, like,
you have to.
Hey, this person could be good in the future if something does pop up.
Yes, and anyone with an ego doesn't cut the mustard. So there's no ego. No, definitely no.
It's about the team, right?
It is about the team, So, and people who have got good principles, they've got to align. So you've got to have a good heart. You've got to you're happy to accept your failures. You're happy to point out your own development needs. If you're just honest, that's the sort of person I go for as well. Makes it a lot easier for me instead of someone who's faking it, lying, and then I've got to try and unravel it.
Yeah, well, and if your business model is building relationships with people and getting in front of people, like it's not going to work out well. When you got...
It's not, is it? No. And look, there's been a few in the past where you've had to let go, you've caught out for lying, but that comes from pressure. When you say get out there, and they just don't want to get out there, they'll lie about it. So it's easy to catch people out.
Yeah. That's that market, is it pretty competitive?
Oof. It's brutal. It's brutal. It's really brutal.
You got some war stories?
I think it's probably, look, anything to do with transport's competitive. Whether you're doing line haul, and our business does line haul, we do refrigerated transport, we do local transport, we'll do air freight and road freight for people and everything. So anything is competitive transport. It's and we've seen a lot of transport companies go under lately due to them trying to do the cheapest price. And I think the whole industry needs to change with what we do is actually bring some morals into this and just stop going to the bottom, because it's not going to end well.
It's future wise for that's obviously something that you would like to see, but like being a long time in transport logistics, like what's if that continues, like what do you see is the situation there? Is it just more businesses go out of?
Yeah, more businesses go out. I think that would be the only way it's going to be, is more business go out, or people are not getting the services that they want. So the problem I have is, people get used to seeing a low price, and then they're not getting the service they want because they expect a high-end service for their client and pay nothing for it. So then for them to try and go out to market again, they get a real shock as well. And so they've got to also reevaluate. So I think really the whole people who need transport, anyone who, and probably nearly everyone needs transport, their mindset needs to shift as well.
Yeah.
It's just don't go after the cheapest, because you can see what it's doing.
And I imagine too that's driven by consumers, right?
Oh,
Essentially,
absolutely.
it's like we all want something.
Yeah. And we want it for nothing.
Yeah.
But we want the best quality as well.
Yeah, we're snobby. Yeah.
Oh, very, very. It's like, but no. It's going to be very interesting. There's lots to talk about what we do, about what the industry does as well as a whole. But once again, I suppose, can competitors all sit in the room and agree? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming out of that COVID period, would you say that it's back to normal as such, or?
There's no such normal, is there?
Yeah.
There's no such normal. I think now we're going more into a decline, like consumerism is slowing down.
You've noticed?
Yeah,
okay.
very much, very much. With our business, we get affected by the global trade as well. So what comes into the country, how people bring things into the country as well, whether they're moving it in a full container or not in a full container, that affects our business as well. And right now, full container pricing is probably better than the loose load pricing. So if people probably don't know, I won't go into the jargon of it all because it's so much jargon.
Go for it.
But that's hurt our business. But it will swing. It always swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Like the wine swing and roundabout it comes and goes. So you just got to ride the storm. Yeah. But I think don't stop pressing forward as well, because you will come out of it again. It's always cycles, isn't it?
But like you mentioned, that constant pressure and responsibility to make sure that you're feeding the family, as you put it.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm grey hair, wrinkles. It's just like, but you know what? And now I don't think I could ever go back to operations as such.
Yeah.
Just the whole, you would be amazed at how much is manufactured in Perth. And I would never understand that if I hadn't have done sales. And, people, and just trying to even, another thing we talk about is trying to bring youth into the whole supply chain and logistics. We talk about the SCLA as well. There's not enough. We've got custom brokers. It's an aging industry sort of thing. And there's not enough out there to young people on, this is actually a career for life, and you can go and live anywhere in the world and do this job. You work for a shipping line, and you can go and live in Europe and work for that same shipping line and work there for 12 months. Go work in Asia So you can travel the world and still work in an industry that we've realised the pandemic has actually been great for because everyone needed something moved.
Well, that's what I sort of found, like from a warehousing point of view, right? It's like you look at that historically, and not a lot of females involved, right?
Yeah.
I know the teams that I've sort of led in that area, having young females in there, like you look at it from a point of view, at their point of view, what do I do? Do I go and work in a retail store, deal with customers, work weekends, all that sort of stuff? Or, hey, can I work in a warehouse? Can I get some autonomy? I've got some opportunities to progress and learn more things leadership-wise. Hey, there's customer service teams, there's leadership teams, there's transport teams that all support all this, health and safety and all this sort of stuff. There's little options
So
to go.
diverse, isn't it?
There is, and I see it as an awesome opportunity.
Absolutely.
If the old school warehouse, that's not that situation, but hey, where there's a vibrant culture with young people that are wanting to do well, that get respected and treated well, like it's a good option compared to that retail customer service type thing.
And I think so. There's always something different too, isn't there? Like, if people want excitement in their life, but they want to work, they want to make money, you can still have excitement at work and you can see something different every day.
Challenges, your brain, how can I be better here?
Correct. And, we talk about women in different roles, and I suppose I want to break that sort of cycle, talking about before, like women in logistics, that's great, but it would be nice if we all can we stop this gender bias and everyone just works together and worked, and I see that a lot more. There's a lot more diversity in, this whole sector, supply chain, warehousing, the shipping lines, the airlines, even what I do now, even in operations, a lot more women are going into it as well. And I think it's just it starts to become a really nice dynamic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's, our workplace is very diverse and it's great. We all have banter and no one's safe. So it doesn't matter who you are. And we probably all know each other better than sometimes what some of our family members know each other. And I think, like you said, like just working in a retail store, same in, same out, you got people that are maybe not there to build a relationship. And if you like to have connection with people, then like you said, warehousing even or anything is supply chain wise, I think is perfect.
No, I'd agree. Talk to me about your sort of experience. You've been in logistics for some time, like female in logistics. So how have you found it?
I've actually never had a problem. And I don't know whether it's just because I've always enjoyed working and being around men. So maybe I grew up with men, boys, more so being on the farm.
With your dad than your mum.
Yeah, I was always out in the farm, with dad and spending time with him. And, of course, then he's talking to other farmers and all that sort of thing. So I've always been around men more so, I think. I've never been one that's enjoyed the bitchiness of women's relationships in a way, which can be. But now in my work career, actually, I've had mentors that are all men, and they've all guided me. No one said, no, you can't do that, Sherie. And it's just been a really beautiful journey of absolute support. And now, all these women together, we're all banding together to support each other. So many women are starting up their own either logistics brokerage business, freight forwarding businesses, things like that. Having the absolute guts just to go out and do it, I'm just like, wow, I'm so proud of you. And just to take things and run with it. And even they've got so much support around it. I feel this whole industry now is shifted, so it's not women versus men. It's just, we're just people.
Yeah.
It'd be nice just to move on like that.
Yeah. So you would like that evolution.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it might be hard for some sectors, but I think for this one, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Unless I'm blind, I don't see it.
Oh, that's great. That's been the experience, that's for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, look, mentors, I think everyone needs them, don't they?
Yeah. Well, talk to me about them. Like you sort of mentioned you've had a few.
My hard-ass German.
Okay.
Look, he was
so
brilliant.
He set you straight.
He set me straight, Look, when I started, I grew up and a little bit no conflict. So I never learnt how to deal with conflict. Grew up in a small country town. We were all friends at school. My sisters had already left home by the time I was born, so I was technically a mistake. Mum and Dad had me late. So I never grew up with conflict. So then when you move into work situations, there's always conflict. Someone doesn't like this, someone doesn't do that, someone wants to be better than you, wants to show their power or whatever else. So he was fantastic because he would always say, Sherie, it's okay to say no. It's okay to challenge someone. Yeah. But when you challenge someone, have a very solid argument around you. So you can walk into my office at any time and say, no, I don't agree with you. But you've got to tell me why. I think that was one of my best groundings was, it's okay to challenge people. It's okay to say no.
We even find that now. It's just like, okay, just because we disagree doesn't mean that we can't get along.
Correct.
Like, it's just, like we've got different points of view, and that's within society, right? Like, just in general. But
just don't take, it's not a personal, nothing's personal. So usually it's around business, but I think that's where learning emotional intelligence as well is key to being able to develop yourself. Is if you can't understand yourself, you're not going to understand others either. So just take that time in trying to work yourself out too. And don't be hard on people too hard, because there might be something underlying that you don't even know about. And I think, look, the other ones, I had two great guys within the toll group who, one was my boss who I ended up taking over from. And now at Direct Couriers, some of the directors have retired, but I had one great one in Melbourne, Nick, Gary, our CEO, who was our sales. He's been a great one. He's always been, he's a hard ass on me, and I love it because he's like, you've got to find the answers yourself sometimes. So if you don't know how to do something, test it, try it. You're not going to break it. We can fix anything. So just try it.
If you fail, you learn something. Yeah,
absolutely. And look, my one is my director in Perth, Frank, and he's amazing. He's allowed me to have the freedom to develop the role, develop myself, always had my back, always there to give me a little bit of guidance when I want it. And also his brother Steve. It's just they've all been fantastic. So very, very, I think very lucky to have these great people around me. And look, even some of my customers can be mentors at times. They've got so many skills, and I can call them about something. It mightn't even be work related, but can you give me a bit of guidance here? What do you think about this situation? So, well, the
really benefit of all those relationships, if you're talking to people and you're obviously talking about stuff, like it's, and it's not always work related, like there's stuff that pops up.
There is.
Oh, okay, that makes me think about that. Or, I can ask that person, we've discussed this.
Yeah. Or, even how do you run your teams? How do you do this? How do you do that?
Yeah. What do you find works?
Yeah.
Where do you recruit from? Yeah.
Correct. Just looking at a whole different avenue can really open my eyes. So you need a community to succeed. Yeah. And that's where I think a lot of people forget is don't block people out, because everyone needs each other. And I think the society has started to become very selfish, and it'd be nice to help reverse that. You go back to the industry groups and why you do it, and it's because bringing people together, you need community, and everyone needs each other. Even if you're a competitor, you can still be friends.
Oh, beautiful. So you were mentioning about learning from customers. Like, how do you find with your team and upskilling them? Like, is there some approaches that you use that...
Yeah, I think we do these group sessions. So we try and do a debrief from the week before, where it's like, all right, I had this meeting, I couldn't get anywhere, and then someone else will pitch in, well, what did you do? How did that happen? And all this, and we start talking as a group.
Okay.
So it's just all about, everyone's had different experiences during the week, so we try and then sort of like pull it apart a little bit, what worked well as well, someone was saying, I talked to the warehouse manager and he says, yep, I'm the decision maker. And then you go through the whole motion and then you find out, oh, no, I've got to pass that off to the state manager or something like that. And you go, wow, you just waste a whole heap of time. So one of my other reps goes, well, yep, I've learnt that week. So now I just start with the top and I work down from there. So I'm like, okay, good guys, let's try this approach now. So yeah, very much we all try and just talk as a group, and I let them be frustrated as well, like let it out, because is high pressure. You're on a roller coaster every single day, and you've got the dips, and the dips can be longer than the highs. So, you know, if you don't have a strong mindset already and you're not a stable mindset, you won't survive. And I think that having the team that all understands that is key to keep everyone connected. So, you know, someone can come out of their office frustrated and throw a pen or something because something hasn't worked well. You've got to let it go because everyone's got a vent.
Yeah.
And the pressure is real. It's constant.
Yeah.
So team support is, I think, what gets us through working out different ways of dealing with things.
And I imagine too, like I find just talking about stuff that you're thinking about just helps. Like that's the thinking process is actually talking about it, and you go, oh yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
And you know, that's one of the things I think is my bad point is because I'm so time poor in a sense with everything I do. Like some of my team would like they build a story and they're telling me a story because they need to get it out. And here's me, I'm going. Just the facts, just the facts. I just need the facts. And I'm like, that's my learning. Sometimes I've got to take a step back and go, okay, they need to let this out. And that's how their thinking process is working as well. So I've got to also understand that. So, I think that's one of my learnings I've got to do as well is just breathe a little.
Oh, well, it's, you know, like when you got lots on your mind and like I think everyone's guilty of that, right?
Yeah,
it's
but you never want to push someone away, do you? And I think that is true. Yes, they've got to understand time is money and all of that. We say that in sales, but it's also I've got to step back sometimes and let them debrief because everyone needs it. So
yeah, it's not about you; it's about what they need, which is hard when you've got everything going on.
Yeah. But you know, I think you never stop learning, do you?
Yeah.
It's always something new.
Switching off then? Like how do you go? Like you're talking about all these little things on your mind all the time. Hey, I can do this, or what about this, or you know, and heightened when you're thinking about your strategies, your team strategies, supporting the team. Hey, someone was a bit off. I just sensed something. Oh, I wonder what that's. You know, I'll figure that out. Like there's always those things.
There is. I feel really sorry for my family because when I get home, I actually just want to have 15, 20 minutes where I don't talk. And I love being outside. And I think that goes back to growing up on the farm. So I'll sit outside, whether it's hailing, whatever, under the patio, and I'll just sit there for 10, 15, 20 minutes maybe. I'll flick through the news. I'll do this. And then at night, with nothing else to do much, I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I'll do a jigsaw. And I find that just brings my mind into one focal point.
You can switch off.
You can switch off and you're not scattered. And, you know, getting a bit old now, so I like my gardening. Mightn't be brilliant at it. My other half would attest to that. But just pulling weeds. And I was talking to a customer about this the other day, and she said the same thing. Pulling weeds is just this mind-numbing, beautiful thing where you don't think about anything else. And everyone needs something to focus their mind on away from the noise, even if it's only for half an hour or an hour.
Yeah.
So
I can do this job and I can directly solve it. Like I don't need to spend time.
Yes.
Don't need to build this relationship.
I don't need to think about it. That's just got to come out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simple. I think it's important though.
Yeah. But imagine just switching off in general is hard, right? Like, and you know, just with everything that's going on. And, you know, it's, I don't know, like leadership positions and, you know, from what I understand with what you're saying with sales positions, there's even an extra element there of thinking about stuff and what you're doing. But like, everyone struggles with that, like that. Hey, I wake up in the middle of the night and then I can't go back to sleep, and God, you know,
I'm still
did
like
I do
that
this?
as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sleep properly at all. I don't think so. I have been accused of having a nana nap on the weekend just to try and catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do wake up, and you know, like great philosophy is around that. Have a notebook by your bed. Just write it down.
Yeah, and you find just getting that out.
I don't do it enough. I usually just lay there and go, Sherie, remember you got to do that in the morning. Remember you got to do that in the morning. And I lay there and just try and manifest that into my brain so when I wake up I remember. But it is a good philosophy. A lot of people do it, have a notebook by their bed, and I think it is a smart thing to do because you just get it out. So there's another thing I've got to learn to do.
Be consistent with that.
Be consistent, yeah.
Talk to me about, you know, you get bored if there's no challenges, right? You've been with Direct Couriers for a bit over 10 years, right? What's your challenge? What do you?
Question. I don't think I'd ever get bored with sales as such because it's ever evolving. Look, yeah, I would like to take another leadership step one day in my career. I've never wanted to own my own business because I didn't want that pressure
Yeah.
of just having the whole thing in a sense. But to be able to run it for someone else, that would be, I think, would be a nice step until
like
you
that.
get there.
Yeah.
And then you question that.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, I go, maybe I would like to go and work in a warehouse for a while and not have a leadership role, just switch off.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could go back now. It's,
Well, you'd probably find it nice for a month or two, and then be bored out of your brain.
I don't know. I think there's always something new, and especially with this business, with that, always doing something new.
Yeah.
So you don't have a mature customer base. You don't have anything, nothing is stagnant. Something's always evolving.
Yeah. So what do you find with your customer base? Is that like 3/4 of your customer base is longer term, and then you're always adding to it, or is there just that natural sort of rollover or turnover of customers?
Don't really lose a lot of customers. And I think that's because of relationship. We try and keep things true and honest. So you're always adding. Some might drop off a little bit, volumes might go, or someone might go into liquidation or something like that, which is sad. But it's always adding to it. And the way we do it as well is we don't let go of a customer. So if we bring one on, we keep them for the life of the customer. So you can see how busy we're going to get. When one of my reps who just starts says, "Oh, I'm so busy," and I'm like, "You've got 5 customers. I'm sorry, you don't know what busy is yet.
Yeah.
Wait until you get 100 or more or something like that." So, but then we have account managers who can help us as well on the everyday. But Christmas time, things like that, you always still like to go and see your own customers and thank them for the year and whatnot as well. So, you could easily palm that off to someone, but then I don't think that's relationship, is it?
Yeah, it doesn't fit. So talk to me about leadership role. You're moving into that side of things. What was that like?
That was a little trip in itself. And so I was with Toll for probably maybe 12 months, and then as state sales manager got seconded to a project. And for some reason, he went, "Hey, Sherie, you want to take over?"
I like that humbleness. For some reason, I'm sure there's a reason.
No, I don't know. I still don't know to this day why the heck. But anyway, and that was hard because I had half a day's handover to then be the manager. I'd never been a manager before. My team or the team had been there longer than me.
Okay.
So I had to really think about how I did this because they were great people, they were strong people, and obviously there was quite a few that thought they deserved to have that role.
Interesting dynamic. Yeah.
Very interesting dynamic. So, so I sat in my normal spot out with the team for I think it was 3 months and left the office of the manager empty. And I refused to move in there because the first thing for me was I had to get their trust and I had to make sure that we could still all work well together. And I've never been a dictator. I don't think that works well. So it was a very humbling, careful sort of little journey. And they had to trust that I knew the answers too. So I'd rather be out there listening to them, what's going on, and let them slowly come to me before. And they said, okay, they pretty much approved me moving into the office. So it was
you
lovely.
Go away,
It's okay, we accept you now. So no training even on how to be a manager. But the one thing that was brilliant for me was Toll, I think it was the CEO at the time, Felicity. She must have seen something in me because she sent me on a negotiating course in Melbourne. I think it was a 4-day course. And it was run by these French guys who used to do the weapon negotiation for the French government.
Okay.
That was a really cool experience. It was very confronting because all negotiations we did was on camera.
Yeah.
So we
Review
had
your
to
performance.
review. So then
I
you
like
would
it, yeah.
you would sit back and you would debrief, and all the little skills like, you don't give something unless you get something in return, and don't do this and don't do this. So you were, you had case studies out there, and then you had to negotiate to that with other people, and I think that probably really helped me on my leadership journey, was how to negotiate and when to take a step back, when to give something, when not to give something. We still get it wrong, but no one's perfect. But it was. I feel like everything I've done, I've just had to wing it.
Yeah.
And learn along the way. I think I said it at the International Women's Day was, I think it's Richard Branson said you get offered an opportunity, just say yes, even if you don't think you know how to do it, and just learn along the way.
Figure it out.
And I think that stuck with me, really stuck with me.
And probably the truth of it all is that everyone's in the same boat.
Oh,
right?
they are.
And if they know everything about the subject, well, they're not really challenging themselves, are they? Right?
No, they're not. They're not. So I don't think it matters what position you're in.
Yeah.
You're still, in a way, a scared kid, and you're just winging it.
Yeah, I like
hoping
that.
for the best. Because I don't think we ever grow up in our minds, do
No,
we?
Scotty and I talk about that a lot, right? It's just like
no.
you're still just a kid
You
with
are.
all these extra responsibilities.
Absolutely.
It's just like,
And that's like my kids say to me is, 17 and 19 now, going, geez, we used to worship you. We thought you knew everything. You guys know nothing. Like this, I'm like,
So pretty confronting. You had to wing it. You had to learn on the trot.
On the trot. It was scary. It was really a scary little time for me. And I suppose, it was a corporate company as well. So you had to learn all these things you'd never been exposed to before very, very quickly. So, how do you, negotiate legal terms? How do you do this? Who do you go to for here? What do you do here? And luckily I had a really supportive state manager as well. He was fantastic. He was one of the guys that hired me with no sales experience to do sales. I'm like, I thank you for life.
Yeah.
I'll name him Peter Correa. He was brilliant.
Yeah.
Just support, I think, and the team was always really supportive as well. So very lucky.
I love that little symbolic thing of just sitting with the team.
Yeah. It had to be done though. I don't think I would have been accepted if you went, okay, because then it's like a level of arrogance, isn't it? Like, I'm the boss now, so I'm moving away from you into the corner.
But it's hard, and that's the balance, right? Is that it feels good to move up and get a new position, and I've achieved something, and this is the reward I get, is I get an office, and I've never had an office. And
It's
how
like,
nice is this?
It's got windows.
It's awesome, and I can close the door and do whatever I want, and all that
yes.
sort of stuff. But then it's, for you and why I like what you're talking about, it's just like, okay, there's all that happening. That's cool. It feels nice. But then, hey, I can't do that because of this. And that's going to affect me.
You can't be a leader without a team support. So if you don't have their buy-in, then you're never going to be successful. And we talk about that even, when you go to a customer, you've got to have buy-in to take another step to close a deal, to open an account, to start trade. If you don't check all that you've got buy-in, you're not going to go anywhere. So I think that's really important, that you just stop and think and challenges with, I think people management is probably your biggest challenge ever.
Yeah.
I feel very blessed with the team that I've got now, that it's relatively easy. They're all mature in their mindset, and they're kids at heart, and we have a lot of fun in between things. But they're focused, and we're all on the same path and the same journey. And I just want them to succeed, but not learn the hard way as I did.
Yeah.
So,
well, it just makes a difference, doesn't it? If you're all on the same page, go in the same direction, it's easy from a relationship. Everyone just gets along. There's no drama. There's no tension. It's just,
no.
And that can only take one person, I would say 10 to that black cloud to make it. But if you've got that, like, your leadership skills and experience doesn't need to be as high, because everyone's just working together.
Yeah, yeah. So I think, just build a charter for your team. Just if you can have a charter to say, this is what we're all about, and this is our rules of engagement, then you've set the precedent for moving forward. And then you've also set the precedent for if you have to rein someone back in. So it's like anything, you join a business, you have a job description. So I think if everyone can build something for their team that they all have buy-in to, you're going to have a lot better dynamic.
When you're interviewing, recruiting, is that stuff that you guys talk about from the get-go?
Yeah. I tend not to do formal interviews.
Okay, talk to me. What's
the pub's a great place for an interview. So, no, the pub or a cafe or something like that, because I find when people are eating or drinking, they're more relaxed, they're not on guard, they drop their guard. And I'd rather...
Neutral venue, essentially. They're not going into your workplace.
That's right. Not even nowhere near the workplace. And I might meet with them a couple of times. The first time that we're getting to know each other, and it's really just a personal chat. Who you are, where you grew up, how did you get where you are, and, you know, what's your beliefs and all of this sort of thing. Second chat is then more around expectations, what we want, what we're looking for, whether they think they could fit the mould. And then go from there. And then do a little bit of formalities afterwards.
When you've broken the ice.
Absolutely. Because I find if I know what the personality is like of the person I'm dealing with, I know whether I want them on the team or not.
The quality character, yeah. So maybe that's what your boss saw in you then.
Maybe. I think it's too hard work to lie. It takes too much effort, so why even bother?
Yeah.
And, you know, Frank, our director's always said as well, I love his philosophy of, I just want to be able to lay straight in bed at night.
Okay.
You know, like you don't have to think about what did I say to this? Who did I do this to? What did I say there? And I think it's such a simple philosophy is just keep it real.
Yeah.
The other thing I say to my team as well is none of your customers should know who you are really, but you should know everything about them.
Okay.
Because that means you're listening and you're just letting them talk. The more they talk, the more you learn.
Yeah.
So...
yeah.
That would be my final tip. Just shut up.
Yeah. Well, on that note, then.
Shut up.
No, well, it's been a pleasure. It's
Thank
been
you.
Lovely to hear more about your story and how you go about things. It's really interesting and all the stuff that you do with direct couriers and all the associations you're involved in.
I know.
But no, it's been a pleasure, Sherie, and I really appreciate your time on this wet, and you probably hear the rain on this podcast.
Good,
but
isn't it? I'm glad I didn't blow dry my hair this morning. That's what I say. But no, Dan, thank you.
No,
It's great.
my pleasure. No, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.